早くも来年のチーム構成に向けて各チーム動きを見せていますね。投手野手ともにリストがすでに出され、大谷翔平選手、山本由伸選手が所属するドジャースの編成にも注目が集まっています。ドジャースは今シーズン特に投手陣に多くの怪我人が続出し、ポストシーズンでも先発投手が足りない中、ブルペンデーを戦い抜き、何とか優勝できたというのが現状でしょう。来年になれば大谷翔平選手の投手復帰が見えてきて映えますが、他の怪我をしている投手陣は確実に戻れるとは言えないようです。そんな中、ワールドシリーズで戦ったヤンキースのゲリット・コール投手がオプトアウト権を行使し、激震が走っています。オプトアウトとは簡単に言えば契約の見直しや、破棄して FA にできる権利で、ヤンキースは追加資金を払わないとコール投手を FA にしてしまうことになります。今日はドジャースの来シーズンのチーム構成に関してと、コール投手のオプトアウトに関しての番組を翻訳してお届けいたします。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーに関する番組や、メジャーリーグ注目のニュースを翻訳してお届けいたします。お見逃しのないよう今のうちにチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。
I can't imagine being anywhere else right now, and I can't imagine doing it with a better group of guys than this group right here. I'm at a loss for words, man. I didn't have anything to do with this championship, but it feels like I have the best feeling in the world. To get to celebrate with you guys, two-time champ, and a lot more coming. Let's go! Yeah, I'm coming back. You know, I got to do some stuff in the off season. There's some things that I need to get fixed that I'll talk about later, but ultimately I'll be back. It might not be right there on April 1st, but I'll be back.
Clayton Kershaw telling us on MLB Tonight, right after the parade that he's, but Evan Phillips, Gavin Stone, Tyler Glasnow was the big one. That was their big investment. They thought they'd have him. But even remember, Tony Gonsolin has been outstanding. Dustin May was supposed to be the future. Where is everybody?
All hurt. But I think when I look at this Dodger team, you look at all these injuries, you look at what they even still have coming back next year, their potential rotation and the youth, the overall talent level that they have. I understand that a lot of those guys that we saw on that list may not be available, certainly to start next year, maybe even all of next year. But the amount of talent that they've amassed and what they're going to be able to do over the next several years is really scary to me. I start thinking about, okay, if you didn't beat the Dodgers this year and they won the World Series, what year are you going to beat them? Because I very highly doubt that they're going to have to suffer through the injuries again that they had to suffer through this year. That would be just awful if they had to go through that again. I very highly doubt that's going to happen. And so to get a better version of the Dodgers moving forward, that's scary.
How many innings do you think Shohei Ohtani pitches next year, off the top of your head? 120, 110?
I'll give him 100. I'll give him 150. I do. I think he'll go out and post 150.
That's I think
it's a lot
he's only done that once.
He's more of a six-man rotation guy. But I think the fact that he's basically coming off of 2 years off, essentially. I mean, he really didn't pitch much at all last year. It basically puts you in a situation where he's already, we started talking, will he have a chance to pitch this postseason? I think he's going to have a chance to really ramp up all offseason and get himself to a nice place where he can handle that kind of a workload.
I think the most he's done is 166. He's done 130, and then he's hurt a lot of the time. By the way, Kershaw will need toe surgery, knee surgery, needs a bunch of things. That's what he was alluding to. You know who his first manager was, how far he goes back? Because I'm thinking, we must go back to Don Mattingly.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you want to guess?
Yeah, no, please, go ahead.
Joe Torre.
What's funny with me, you just said he's going into his age 37 season. 4 years ago, if you would have asked me, what age season do you think Clayton Kershaw is going to, I probably would have said 37 because he's been around so long and he came up at such a young age, 20 years old, and he had such an immediate impact and he's been so good for so long. It's crazy to think that he's still going and still capable of going out there and putting up really good numbers.
Yeah, remember at the start of last year, we were thinking 100 wins doesn't do it for the Dodgers. So you're kind of going back there. Now, do they go shopping at the high end of the market? Because that is what they have done. They did when Mookie Betts was available, they traded for him, extended him. When Freddie Freeman suddenly didn't go back to the Braves, they jumped on him right away. They went for Ohtani. Then they went for Yamamoto. Even at the trade deadline, Jack Flaherty. They go for the top end of the talent pyramid every time. Do they go Soto?
No, I don't think they go Soto. I think that is a little bit too far of reach. And it's not necessarily that, look, if you've got the money, spend it. I get it. They do have the money. They just won the World Series. They've got some extra, cash flow going on. To me, you've got Ohtani clogging up basically that DH spot. And I just mentioned that, look, last segment about Juan Soto, signing him to a long-term deal, to me, you're basically inviting the fact that he's going to be your DH at some point. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so Juan Soto, even on a 12-year deal, there's only 3 more years on the end of that where Ohtani's not around. So you're talking about having him in the outfield for an extended period of time where we've already seen it's a weakness of his. It's not a strength of his. And so I wouldn't necessarily be comfortable putting him in that role knowing that I have Ohtani on this team.
So yeah, for all the things that Ohtani is, he restricts you then.
In that way,
you can do in a roster way, also
but
in
he goes out and
rotation,
pitches
everything.
every 6th day, so that's okay.
Pitches and hits.
It's okay.
We haven't seen that, but again, it changes
Yes,
things.
it does. It changes your thought process for sure. I still think they could go shopping at a high end. I don't know that they will. They're very meticulous with the free agents they sign. I think they got the 2 big ones this past year because of kind of the way the market's shaping out this year.
There's Gerrit Cole, who does opt out. However, the Yankees can opt back in. This is Gerrit Cole opting out of his contract. The Yankees can void out by adding 1 year, $36 million on the deal. So essentially, what Cole has left out, if he didn't opt out, but he did, he'd have 4 years, $144 million left. If the Yankees, they have until Sunday night to void that option, pick him back up, they would add 1 year and $36 million, so it would bring it to a 5-year deal, $180 million. Cole will be in his age 34 season. Only pitched 95 innings this year, had a 3.41 ERA. But again, there are very few aces out there. What do you think is going to happen?
They have to pick up that 5th-year option. They have to. I mean, for me, based off of what we just talked about, there's only probably 2 or 3 pitchers at the top of the market this year. Snell, Burns, Fried. You mentioned those guys in the same breath, and then it really drops off from there. So to me, you don't want to take your chances. You have to lock this guy down. And he's done it for you. He's done it in New York. He's done it in the biggest games. I mean, I know that 5th inning fell apart. He was a part of that with, not covering first base, maybe making a pitch or 2 that wasn't quite the right pitch. But all at the same time, he actually pitched phenomenally. And I would even say going back out there and giving you that extra length after that 5th inning, it just shows you who he is. He's shown you the character to get the big contract and still come back year after year, try to improve and try to be a better player. I understand that the numbers don't necessarily say he's the best pitcher in the game every year and all the time, but he consistently will go out there and give you everything he has. And to me, what Gerrit Cole has been elite and will continue to be elite for about as long as anyone you can hope it can be.
On the far right, that's ERA plus. 100 is league average if you don't speak that language normally. But you see, 2021, that's a full season, 181 innings, then he does 200, then he does 209. That's a 133, a 112. The 165 stands out. That's essentially what we're basing all of this off of. It was a 121 this year, which is not sensational, but it's quite good. And there are just very few guys that are going out doing 200. Again,
the innings and the quality of
right. So it seems to be, we're going to talk to Brian Hoke about that, but there seems to be you don't think there's any issue that the Yankees will not be picking this up?
I couldn't see a world where they don't. Unless they already feel like they can go out and sign Corbin. Well, I don't even know, because I think there are question marks surrounding some of those other arms at the top. That Gerrit Cole, to me, just far and away, and it makes the most sense too, because you're getting him for that 5th year for $36 million. It's a lot of money. But you're talking about, if you try to sign a player now as opposed to him signing this deal 5 years ago, the AAVs have changed, and some of those numbers start to balloon and look similar to what he's making anyway.
Yeah, there's just not that talent pool out. It's not 1977. There's not this old dearth of pitchers out there. There is a dearth of pitchers out there. There isn't the plenitude of it out there.
改めてこうしてドジャースの怪我人リストを見るとえげつないですね。逆に言えばこの怪我人たちが全員戻ってきたら、番組内でも話していましたが、どこのチームが勝てるんだ、状態なのは間違いないでしょう。そして、コール投手のオプトアウト権行使は本当にびっくりしました。さすがアメリカという感じもします。それと同時に、日本でこのタイミングで行使したら、ベースカバーしないのに、なんて声が聞こえてもきそうですよね。ドジャース内のニュースで注目すると、ミゲル・ロハス選手、バーンズ捕手の残留が確定したようです。カーショー投手は生涯ドジャース宣言しましたし、あとはテオスカー、ヘルナンデス選手があれだけ再契約を熱望していたので、今後の補強戦略の動向には注目ですね。引き続きメジャーの気になるニュースや日本人選手に何らかしらで関連するニュースをピックアップしてお届けしてまいりますので、オフシーズンもぜひぜひよろしくお願いいたします。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。